when I found out how beneficial massage was in the healthcare industry and how needed it was for people that suffer from all kinds of ailments. My son, who passed away, actually passed from asthma, and for the 2 years that God extended his life for us, I was able to perform lung massage. And my son said it was the worst tickle hurt he had ever experienced in his life, but it opened up his chest and he could breathe easier. So that's where my true passion for the rehabilitative side and treatments, and not just a spa, go get a sugar scrub and, relax and massage. Because even though that's beneficial for those suffering from mental health issues, I'm more focused on the body as a whole and trying to repair it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's a very, very interesting and amazing story that you do have. And what I want to ask, because I really want to see how you are utilizing this particular question I'm going to ask what's your I can, realizing your I can and purpose, business and family to you? What does that mean to you? What do you think about?
My I can it's pretty loaded. Like I said, I jumped into this industry um, by the grace of God, I guess, because that's not what I was, and to me, that wasn't where where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the healthcare industry, but God was leading me in different ways. He was putting up roadblocks. Like I said, I was a teenage parent, so even though I had phenomenal parents, nursing school was just overwhelming, and so I went to work in the sales field and doing other jobs that, as single parents, that's what we do. We work the jobs that we have to make sure that we take care of our families. And so when God led me in this direction, there was lots of roadblocks there too. My father passed away while I was in school. My son had health issues. School when you're a full-time mom it's just challenging in itself. And so now that I'm 14 years into the field, and I've saturated my practice with special needs clients and people that really need to be touched in order to heal, it is why I do what I do. And when I see the progress of my clients, it gives me a reason to keep going and to keep trudging through this industry and making it a specialized health field and not just something that people just do for luxury.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as far as we're going to break this down into those three separate categories, because you talked about your family, you talked about your business, and you talked about your purpose, right? And so how do you see this at play, your I can in your family, just in that aspect? I heard you talk about being a single mom and having to, so what does that look like? And I heard you talk about losing a child. So how did you find, what was your I can in those moments? How did you regain your strength? What was that to you? How was that?
So honestly and truthfully, my youngest daughter, she is my I can. She was born shortly before her brother passed away. And that was literally my reason for living. Even though I have other kids and that you can't replace one kid with another, someone needed me. Someone needed me to be present and keep moving forward. And that was her. And for her to be a young woman and seeing me continue to pursue my dreams, where she can be like, my mom, she does all of this, she gets up, she goes to work every day. She is able to give back to the community. That helps her to also be able to be present for whoever she's with, for her friends, for her family. She's seeing me be present in our everyday lives. And so she is the reason why I get up every morning and I put all of my focus into building a legacy for my kids and for my family. I want to be able to build this practice so that I can pass it on to my children that are massage therapists, or even my daughter if she wants to go into that field, just to be able to have something that, can continue to grow with them.
And you also talked about in the business aspect of it, because I read where you've had high clientele, high celebrities in A, B, and C, NFL, I believe you worked
Yeah.
with those. And so in that, how have you used your message, Reformation? How has this allowed them to see their I can, and what's their I can, and realize their I can as an athlete, as a coach? How, those different, people that you had the chance to touch. You mentioned about touching others, so that you've
Mhm.
had the chance to touch with your message, and not just as a massage, therapist, but how has that impacted their lives?
So, with working with the Washington Commanders, I worked with a lot of them for um, during the season, like post recovery and pregame and recovery. After the game, they get injured so much that it can be really depressing for them when they have to sit still, when they can't do their job. It can be overwhelming for them, and as a athlete, you don't want to show that on the field. You don't want to show your weaknesses on the field. And so when they're in my treatment room and they're vulnerable at that point, they can't, I'm smaller than them, but in that moment, I have the power to get them to where they need to be, and so
Mm.
that humbles them and it makes them work harder with me to help them get back so that they're out there on that field and they are doing what they love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, working with my special needs is better than working with any celebrity that I have ever worked with. I have a lot of people that say, well, you've worked with XYZ and why you could be doing this in the NFL and you could be pursuing your career and making all this money. And they're absolutely right. But that's not where my heart is. That's not where my passion lies. It's seeing the milestones of my special needs. I have one that's completely paralyzed right now. And when he came to me, he didn't talk, and now he's making words, he's laughing, he's progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is more important than working with my celebrities, because he wants to be able to get back to the point where his mom's not taking care of him anymore. He was very independent prior to his incident, and now he's fully reliant on someone else. And so when he sees that he can make those movements with consistency and with patience, then it propels him to continue to go where he wants to go. And working with my chronic pain clients, it's the same thing. They can see that they don't have to live in pain and that we can restore them back to their selves, and they can have a better quality of life.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I like what you said, that you have the power. That is a big perspective, or paradigm that you have to know that you said that you were much smaller, but at the same token, you had the power. Listen, it reminds me of David and Goliath. He didn't allow his size to dictate his the purpose, his strength, and what he was able to do, what he was able to put out there for, to be the salvation at that moment for the entire his people, right? His army, the people that he was helping to fight with. So you putting yourself in that position, and also working with the special need, you still have to know that you have the power, because that's a different, I feel like that's a totally different feel, a totally different mindset you would have to have. So what is the mindset? Because you're coming from people, you worked with in the NFL, to people with special needs with a totally different mindset. I know you said, you spoke about the NFL, they could be depressing on them, because sitting on the bench and wanting to be out there and playing, and it can cause them to feel less than, make them feel as if they're inadequate, make them feel as if now they're nobody, that they, what is their, get plan B, maybe when they didn't have a plan B, this was their, A, B, C, D, all through the, Z. But, having to sit on the bench and having to look at their life through the lens of someone else, that could be hard. But now you are talking about special needs. Now that's a totally different, mindset and emotional stress and up and downs that you're having to deal with. What is it that keeps you sound during both of these different, I would say horses of a different color or zebras with different stripes? So let's talk about that. Your I can and that. How do you see that? How do you realize your potential and that power? We want to talk about that power.
So if you go into the mindset of, and what I've seen in the industry altogether is people who work with the upper class or the NFL or put themselves in that position. I made a comment because I've seen a lot of colleagues posting pictures when they're working with celebrities or this and that, because they want the recognition. For me, it's not recognition. It's not the accolades that I've gotten plenty of accolades. I've gotten plenty of pats on the backs, but it's not, for me, it's not about that. It's about, you came to me with a problem. I have to listen to your problem. And this goes for all people. It doesn't matter if you're Beyonce or Joe Blow off the street. I have to be able to listen to your problem and be able to intellectually decipher and not see who you are. When you're on that table, your muscles, your dysfunction, I have to treat you as a person, not you as your name. And so when I work, it doesn't matter who I work with. Everybody that walks through my door is an individual. Everybody has a different problem, and I'm going to approach them for where they are. I'm going to come to them on their level, and I'm going to treat them like they have a goal, their own specific goals. Everyone doesn't have the same goals. So whatever your goal is for why you came to see me, there's always going to be a why you can't walk through that door.
Mm-hmm. And so in those moments, how do you, what is your, you said your mindset is everybody is an individual. So I have to treat them. This person needs the rehabilitation, the reformation. They need this moment to get them back on their feet. And you mentioned about people that you see maybe in your same field, but they're posting and sharing for the accolades, for the, oh, look at me, want to move up in life, name dropping because they're working with the celebrities A, B, and C. Have you ever been criticized for, going against the trend or going against the grain when someone say, well, you should be doing this? How do you keep going when it seems like everything against you and people start to be against you?
Because I stand out. I don't have to pat myself on the back, because what I do, someone else is going to talk about. I set myself apart from the rest. Everybody talks about a cookie cutter massage, and I don't give that. And that's why I don't say that. And that's why my title is Master Therapist, because the people hear the word massage therapist and they automatically expect trickling music or a spa music or trickling waterfalls or rainfalls. And as you can see on my wall, I have muscles on my wall. I have anatomy posters in my office. When you walk into my office, you don't see waterfalls. You don't hear trickling music. I set myself apart from the rest, and my technique. A lot of people ask me what my technique is and what sets me aside apart from everybody else. And it's, I don't do the same thing, and I don't do the same thing anybody else does. And then you're not ever going to get the same treatment in my office today that you got yesterday.
So has there been any type of resistance that you've experienced because of that? Because you stand out? Because people who stand out, they're going to get picked on. They're going to get talked about. They're going to get laughed at. They're going to be made to feel as if, what they're doing is wrong, so that they can, bring them down to their level, maybe because of their own insecurity. So how do you continue to realize who you are, your I can, keep that powerful mindset in the midst of all of that, and still give to your family, still give to your business, still give to your purpose. That makes sense. How?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk
my
about that.
my my biggest argument with my colleagues is you could be charging a whole lot more money for what you do. Yeah, I could. Or if, for some people, it's you charge too much money, and I say, well, lay on my table, and you understand why I charge too much money.
Lay on the
But from my
table.
colleagues, I get you could be making a whole lot more money. You could be working with XYZ, and you're right, I absolutely could. But I'm not going to stand out any differently working. I'm still going to be who I am, but my mission is to bring the benefits of my craft to people who don't know what those benefits actually mean or don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they can afford those benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't accept insurance, and with massage turning more into an accepted modality and an accepted treatment, um, then um, most insurance companies are still fighting us a little bit about taking insurance, but insurance companies don't want to pay us for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people think they can't afford to get massage, and that's why I put myself in a place where I can offer my services at a reasonable price, so that those people that are less fortunate can make a treatment plan so that they can get better and make this a maintenance and not so much of I have to have this.
Mm-hmm. So how do you see, and we're going to get ready to end this. I'm enjoying this, okay? And I hope you're enjoying this too. I hope the listeners,
Yes.
they will enjoy it as well, to understand that there are people out here who is changing the status quo. They're making it things that are seeming to be luxurious to some people, more affordable, more economical, more right there in your, in your backyard. Because we look in our backyard, in our community, and we don't see these types of businesses or entrepreneurs or companies right readily available for us. And so how does your people, those that you work with, how much more of an improvement you see in their life because they say, well, I can afford this. Now it takes the pressure off and they can focus on being healed. That makes sense. They can
Yes.
focus on being whole. Okay.
And that's why I'm so successful is because I work with people. I'm actually getting ready to. I'm working on how to do it. I'm working on like a sliding scale for people that can't even afford the rate that I have now. Not necessarily to give my services away, but to be able to create a package or a way that they can make this part of their healthcare. We go to the gym, we do these subscriptions
Okay.
for gyms, and we do all this stuff for our healthcare. But when it comes to this industry, everyone's like, oh, I can take that out of the budget. Well, I want to make it more affordable so that you can include this in your workout regimen. Because once you get to a good place where your body's actually not in pain anymore, and you take it to a
Mm-hmm.
maintenance, that's just like being in the gym when you're working to get your body back in shape. At some point you're working out every single day until you get to the weight or the goal that you want, and then you kind of like back off and you like maintain it. Well, massage should be the same way. It's body work. It takes care. It's helping with the digestive system. All these people that are walking around taking all these medications, if you're implementing body work into your healthcare regimen, a lot of these medications that we are taking will go away. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
pain meds, the opioid pandemic, all of these things that people are hooked on can go away if they can afford to go to someone like myself and get that holistic treatment versus the chemical treatment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of addicts get better because the dopamine that they need to keep going is naturally produced, and they don't relapse as quickly as someone that doesn't, or they don't relapse at all. So those are things that I'm working on in my specific practice, and hopefully being able to gain more of a following with my fellow colleagues, that this is healthcare. This isn't
Mhm.
just a run of the mill. I'm not pretending to be who I am. You know,
Mhm.
this is what I do. This is what sets me apart from the average massage therapist.
Mhm. Amazing. I love it. I loved it because some of us, we, may seem as if, okay, I can afford money for A, B, and C, just like food, eating whole foods, and we could see, oh, I can go get the cookies and things that's easier, but when it comes down to our health, things that really matter, we look at it as being too expensive and look at it as an luxury instead of a part of our lifestyle, a part of our, we need this in order for our bodies to respond, because what you do to your body, what you put in, how you take care of your body, is you're investing in yourself. You're sowing your seed, and that seed will grow. You're going to get an ROI on what you are doing, to your body. So what type of ROI do you want to, for your body to give you in 5 years and 10 years and 15 years? So I like that. I like the plan, that you're doing. And I pray for much success. And I know it's going to be successful, because you are, tapping into something in an area that is, is missing. That is really missing, to hear the people and be where they are. If you were to go back and tell your younger self something, give your younger self a tip, or speak words of wisdom, out of all that now, everything that you have experienced, with your own health, raising children, being an entrepreneur, breaking through the status quo, being that trendsetter, what would you tell your younger self? And your younger self could be 5 years old, 6 year old, 18 year olds yesterday. What would you tell your younger self?
Um, I would tell my younger self to not give up, to pursue what your heart's passion is, and not let someone else dictate to you what you should do or what you can't do. This is my second career. Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
was in the office management field for many, many years before I became a massage therapist. And I wish that I had went to school to become a massage therapist when I was younger. And
Mm-hmm.
the goals that I'm trying to make now would already be in place.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, so when you are talking with, and I promise you we're almost done, but you just keep saying things, and I'm like, yes, let's talk about that. When you are talking with your clients, and they are dealing with some of the same struggles that you've dealt with, what do you tell them? Give me three things that we can leave with the audience that you tell your clients that can be helpful to someone that may be listening.
I tell them to listen to their bodies, because your
Mhm.
body is going to tell you when it's tired. Your body, and I've had to tell myself that. I've had a minor heart attack. I've almost had a
Oh.
stroke. I've, I've, so I've had to tell myself to slow down. I've had to tell myself to listen to my body. Look, I'm seeing this. I'm in the medical profession. I know the signs. I know the symptoms, and I will ignore the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know when I'm stressed out, and I won't slow down, and I won't go get a massage. I'm a massage therapist that won't get a massage because I I want somebody to treat me the way that I would treat someone else, and or I'll deal with the pain for as long as I can before I break down. Um, Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to go through the emotions and not hold it in, because your body holds on to all of those things. And so allowing yourself to listen to yourself and actually follow through with your decisions is what I would tell my clients. Eating healthy. I talk. I mean, in the last few months alone, I've had to tell myself again. Your health is suffering because of the way that you're eating. You've got to change your eating habits. You got to start eating clean again. You got to be consistent. And if you're not consistent, then no changes are going to happen and you're not going to move forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So listening to your body, making sure you're taking those self-care moments, making sure you're eating healthier is very key to living a life of abundance, I would say. It's very key to reclaiming your life of abundance. It's very key to elevating and moving to that next level and understanding your I can in purpose, business, and family. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this conversation on today, a part of the series of What's Your I Can series. What are some ways that people can contact you?
You can definitely go and book a appointment on my website at reformationmassageandbodywork.com, all spelled out. My Instagram and my Facebook are the same, Reformation Massage and Bodywork. You can message me privately in either one of them, and I usually respond within 24 hours.
Awesomeness. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I know that the listeners are going to appreciate the gems, the nuggets, and the wisdom that you have shared with us on this day. Listen, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on our various platforms. You can find me on Instagram at Chef Christy Angeli, on Facebook at Christy Angeli, and also on LinkedIn at Christy Angeli. Make sure that you're following both of us for more and more information. This is not going to be the last time that you're seeing Miss Ashia and I together. We have so much more to come. We want to unpack this conversation on a whole nother level. So stay tuned for more, and we will see you all later.